This is the last video for this section, and it's going to be about tree diagrams. This usually is one of the hardest things for students in our probability chapter, and the reason why is it includes those conditional probabilities. So you have to be very careful with the wording over here where it says, hey, given that students attend a final review session. Well, given is always an indication that we have conditional probability, right? So this is where we put in our slash, given that the student attended a final review session. And down here we have A is the event that the student attended a review session. So given A, they have a 90% chance of passing the final exam. And we call P would be passing. So we have the probability of P given A is equal to 90%. Given they don't attend, so this is given a complement, they're not attending, they have a 15% chance of passing. So this is the probability of P given a complement, which is 0.15. So when we're looking at tree diagrams, we're actually given two conditional probabilities, and then we're given one marginal probability. So last part over here, the professor estimates that 65% of the students will attend the final review session. Really important, this is the standalone probability, the marginal probability, and so that's the probability of attending the review session, which is 0.65. When we put our tree diagram together, we always start with a marginal probability. So keep that in mind, because we have the probability of attending the review session, and then the complement, which is the probability of not attending the review session, very similar to the table. In fact, we'll see how the tree diagram and the table ties in together. So we have the probability of A, which is 0.65, and that means we have the probability of A, I called it A complement, but over here it's N. So we could change that. Let me just call it A complement, which is 0.35. So put down your marginal probability and the complement first, and then fill in the conditional probabilities. We had the probability of P given attending, so we had 90% passing of those who attended. That means we have 10% failing. We have 0.15 passing if they did not attend, and that means we have 0.85 failing if they did not attend. So again, this looks like you definitely want to attend the review session in this class over here. A couple things to keep in mind is for these probabilities, we have the first two probabilities add up to 1. These two probabilities add up to 1. These add up to 1, and we'll see at the end that our last four probabilities, our joint probabilities, also add up to 1. So one thing when we have joint probabilities, we know that the probability of A and P is the probability of A times the probability of P given A. We did that in a previous video, so we simply can multiply 0.65 times 0.9 in order to get the probability. Down here we have 0.65 times 0.1, 0.35 times 0.15, 0.35 times 0.85. So once we fill in those first probabilities, usually filling in those last probabilities is very easy. But students make a lot of mistakes setting it up correctly by starting with a marginal probability first, and then oftentimes they get mixed up with the conditional probabilities as well. All right, well, multiplying 0.65 times 0.9 gives us 0.585. 0.65 times 0.1 is 0.065. 0.35 times 0.15 is 0.0525. And then the last probability is 0.2975. So again, these probabilities add up to 1 as well. So it's a quick and easy way to check at the end to make sure that you set up the tree correctly. So the question over here is asking, what percentage of students passed the final exam? Well, let's see who passed the final exam over here. We had these people, they attended the study session. And we had these people who did not attend the study session and passed as well. And again, I'm going to just change the wording. Over here to not attending. Again, you can use whatever letters you want, but that's kind of how I had it set up over here. So what percentage altogether passed the final exam? Well, the probability of passing is really the probability of attending and passing, or the probability of not attending and passing. So we can add these two probabilities to get the total probability of passing, for a total probability of 0.6375. So Bayes' rule down here is a formula for calculating the reverse probability. So let's say we have the passing rate given you attended a study session, but you want to know of the people who attended the study session, what percentage passed the test. And so Bayes' formula is something that allows you to calculate it. The other thing you can do is actually use a tree diagram and use it intuitively. A lot easier that way. One other thing that can be really helpful is to put together a low contingency table, and that would have the same information in it as our tree diagram above. However, oftentimes it's a little easier to use it that way. So for example, we could attend and not attend over here, and then we would put passing versus failing up here, and then we simply fill in all those probabilities. The probability of attending and passing was 0.585. The probability of attending and failing was 0.065. The probability of not attending and passing was 0.0525. And then the probability of not attending and failing was 0.2975. Then we can add the probabilities over here in the total, and we can see that the probability of passing would just be adding that first column together, which we already calculated over here to be 0.6375. So oftentimes it's really helpful to have this contingency table put together, fill in all the totals in order to answer questions, because oftentimes we have more than one follow-up question. So you definitely want to do this, and we'll see that in another example.